the wonderful Melanie C.
Yay! You're here.
Hello, thank you.
Welcome.
Superstar.
Super duper star. This is freaking me. I was reading about, what you've achieved over the last so many years of your career. You've co-written 11 #1 UK singles. Do you look at that and go, where did that stuff come from? What happened? How did I do that?
Yeah, I love that statistic. It's so cool. But, you have to remember, 9 of those were with the Spice Girls. So that was something, that was extraordinary in itself.
How did you get your songs? Because with the Spice Girls, I imagine there would have been so much, record company pressure and stuff. How did you go, hang on, I've got something to say?
No, well, you know what we used to do? Everything we did, we used to work together. So we'd work with writers in the studio, but all 5 of us, with lyrics and melodies. That's something we did from, the very, very beginning. Wannabe was one of the first things we ever wrote, and we just continued to do that.
So you're doing a show for Russell Crowe this evening.
Yes.
At his premiere for the film Cinderella Man. Did Russell call you up and say, "Yo, Melanie, I want you to come over"?
Yeah, he did. No, he didn't.
Really? What happened?
No, I was invited to perform through my PR here.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. And it's a really great charity as well. I don't know if you know about it. Just Enough Faith Foundation. Bit of a tongue twister. But it's a charity that helps homeless people. But it's just really great. They've got a farm outside Sydney, and they grow stuff there, and a lot of homeless people go there to work, and they get people back into employment and back on their feet and stuff. So it sounds really cool. So I was really chuffed to be able to be part and help to raise some money.
Multi-skilling. You get to come out to Australia, you get to see a film for free, and all you have to do is just play a couple of songs.
I don't get to see the movie. This girl's too busy.
What?
Really?
I'm busy, yeah. I'm not going to see it. I really want to see it because I've heard it's really fantastic. So I'm going to see that at home. But I'm going to be performing later. I've got a couple of performances to do this evening, so...
I think the movie's just Russ beating people up.
Well, yeah.
Which isn't too far removed from...
Now, I've heard this movie is supposed to be spectacular, and they're talking Oscars.
Well, look, if he could do another one of his, just become Maximus again when he,
That was a great movie, wasn't it? He's such a great actor. I've got a lot of respect for him.
Do you get to go to the movies, or do you get to, when you step out to the front door, it's just like, oh, my God!
No, it's not. I mean, I do get recognised a lot wherever I go, but it's cool, people come up for photographs and autographs and stuff. But, I go shopping and I hang out with my mates, and I go to the movies sometimes.
It's not a hassle just to go down the street for some more bog roll or something, or is it all right?
Sometimes it is. But, people, especially because where I live, people are quite used to seeing me, seeing me around, so they don't care.
Is it true that one of your ex-bandmates is still a neighbour?
Yeah. Not for long, though. Or maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe a secret. But yeah, no, Emma lives in the next block of flats to me.
Do you go around and ask for a cup of sugar? Is that kind of relationship?
No, like she's ever got any groceries.
That is magnificent. I think, could you hang around for just a wee bit? I know Russell's, busy.
Yeah, I don't want to upset him.
He will have my guts regarded if I make you late. But we want to play your video, Better Alone. Can you tell us about this video? Where did you make it?
I made this video in a big old manor house just outside London, and it used to be owned by Led Zeppelin, which is very cool. And I think they recorded some stuff there. I'm not sure which songs it was exactly, but that's some of the history of the house. The video director was Mary McCartney, who is Paul McCartney's eldest daughter. Yeah, she's a great photographer, and we did some stills, photographs together, and it's actually some of the artwork on the album, Beautiful Intentions. And then we got together and I said, how do you feel about doing a music video? Because she'd never done one before, and she loved the song, and we got together and we come up with what you're going to see.
Wow, how's that in the big rock? No one owns mansions anymore. Well, only Robbie Williams. But anyway, hang around. This is the brand new video from Melanie C. This is Better Alone.
Letting me go, but I thought you had
This is What You Want, live across Australia. I'm Andrew, this is Maya, and Melanie C. has joined us. She's in town playing a show at Russell Crowe Cinderella Man, premiere tonight in Sydney. This is your third album out after Living Spice Girls, after Northern Star and Reason?
Yeah.
And you've done it on your own record label.
Yeah.
What's going on there? You're Melanie C. Shouldn't people be beating down your door to release your album?
Well, you know what? I've been with the major for about 7 years, and I had a really good time there, and, I was lucky. I was very successful. But, things change, and I've learnt a lot in the industry. And, my relationship was coming to an end with my label, is how we like to put it. And
So the lawyers told you.
Well, you know, it was just a case of things had changed. You know, people had changed, and it was time to move on. And I had options, and I could go to another major, I could go to independence, but I had an option to start my own label, and I just thought it sounded like something really exciting to do. And you have ultimate control, ultimate freedom, and it has been the best thing I've ever done because it's been so inspiring. And I think that this album is the best album of my career so far.
Wow. Do you think you'll put out other artists on your label?
I'd like to. That's something I'd really like to do, but it's a little bit too early to say because it's so expensive. You just don't realise, you know, recording costs, and then, you know, you have your promotion and marketing and making videos, just all these things. So this album would have to be successful because I'd want to be financially really healthy, to enable a new act to have any chance in the industry. You can't just do something, you know, half-heartedly. You need to have everything behind them to give them a good shot.
So we were talking earlier today about, you know, your history in the public eye, and Maya and I were kind of wondering, do you go through the gossip magazines and go, had that happen to me? Yeah.
No way. No. I learned it very early on to not look at that.
No?
Look
Not
at it
even
about
to have
other
a laugh
people.
at someone else?
Yeah, believe it about other people, but it's not true about yourself.
Oh, exactly. That's what we mean. Oh, look at her. Yeah, she is fat, yeah.
No, do you know what? I think... Oh, there's so many of those things out there, and they're horrible, and they're so mean. And, you know, I do think it's best to live in your own world and, you know, be in a nice, healthy little bubble and have nice thoughts.
Speaking of healthy, I heard a rumour, I don't know how true it is, that you were once vegetarian and now not. Is that true?
Ooh. Well, to be honest with you, I've kind of...
You're back on the beef, aren't you?
Well, I spent some time being vegetarian when I was a kid, because my mum's quite health conscious, and we went through a phase at home, you know, when we were growing up being veggies, and I really enjoyed it. And but because I work out a lot, and it's not difficult. Any vegetarians hear me saying this would be very angry, but I find it hard to get enough protein just being vegetarian.
Don't worry about him, he's a vegan. All right.
Are you vegan?
Yeah.
Brian Adams is vegan.
Well, there you go.
If the food is scrummy, if you like Brian Adams and you've got your own chef.
And your own place on your own island.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We put it out there for people to go onto the message boards at channelv.com to ask you some questions. Okay. So I wanted to ask you a question from Tashi, 2002, who says, what do you think of all these celebrities becoming so thin?
Well, I think it's something that's been going on for a long, long time, and it's something I've been guilty of myself. You know, I think that I was somebody who, you know, succumbed really to the pressure of the media and how we're supposed to look. And I think it's really worrying because it isn't natural. You know, some people are naturally very thin, but not that many people. And I think it's really sad, and you know, people, when you're in the public eye, you do have a responsibility, especially if you have young fans. But it's very hard when you're in that situation. So, you know, it's not good, and you can't maintain it. You know, I became very ill from being underweight. So, you know, I'd say don't start messing with food. Just be sensible.
Eat lots.
Thank you.
Yes. Angela from Sydney is on the phone. How you doing, Angela?
Hey, I'm great, thanks.
This is Melanie.
Hello.
Hi, Mel.
Hiya.
I'm a big fan.
Oh, thank you.
What's your question?
I just wanted to know, since you started your own record label and you released your album, because you had full control, like, is there anything on there that's going to be heaps different from, like, what you've previously done?
I think that this album is quite different. Before I started it, I really thought about what I wanted to achieve. And, you know, I've done loads of live shows with the first and the second album. And when I'm on stage, I love rocking out. And it seems the audience really respond really well to that too. So I thought with this album, that's what I wanted to do. So there's a lot more rock stuff on there. It's still a pop album. You know, I think they're pop songs. But there's big guitars, there's some aggressive stuff. And it's quite angsty in places because I've got a lot I want to moan about. I mean, we all have, haven't we, frankly? But there's some lovely ballads on there too. But I went out and I did some live shows before we recorded, so we wanted to get a real energetic and live raw feel to the album. So although it's still very Melanie C, I think if you hear it, you'll know what I mean. It's just a bit more.
Oh, okay, cool. Sounds good.
Thanks for your call, Angela.
Thanks.
Bye. We got Russell Crowe on call waiting. He's going, where is she, Henry? She's got to come do the show. So we might